Welcome to Last Night, your sci-fi recap show. It was a phenomenal night for practical sci-fi, with the season finale of Face Off and the start of the second round of the Robot Combat League tournament. Please welcome back my special guest, Mr. Perry, Nemo, intergalactic man of mystery.
Bonjour Mademoiselle Anguille.
Bonjour. I understand it was your birthday yesterday, Mr. Nemo. Happy belated birthday.
Merci beaucoup.
How did you spend your day, if I may ask?
As you say in America, what happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas.
That's true. Unless, of course, what happens in Vegas is broadcast to the whole world. The final three contestants on Face Off, Chris, Wayne, and Anthony, had the most spectacular and certainly the most difficult challenge yet, creating not one but two characters for the aquatic theater show, Le Rêve, the Dream.
Oh le rêve. Il lives into its name, a wondrous display of artistry and acrobatics in the style of Cirque du Soleil.
I've always enjoyed shows like Cirque du Soleil, and it would be worth going to Vegas just to see a show as unique as Le Rêve. Since it's an aquatic show, with performers taking dives from about 40 feet, the real challenge was making sure the makeup and costumes didn't wash off the models.
Théa, assistance. Six former contestants returned to help them create their costumes.
Everyone was happy to see House and Eric F returned to the show, of course, and even Eric Z and Elam. But you should have seen the reactions of people on Twitter to Autumn being put on Anthony's team. I know she was never very popular while on the show, but she's a good artist and did a great job for Anthony last night.
People just get carried away when watching this type of show. When you have a favorite, they continue or win, you don't want anything stopping them from winning. Any obstacle becomes hard to pay for their fans.
That's true, I suppose. In this case, there was no need to panic, as Anthony's dream thief and dream victim managed to steal the show, so to speak.
They all did amazing work, and every one of them should be proud of their accomplishments.
I'm sure they do feel proud, as do their families. Let's talk about Robot Combat League now. Ever since last week's show, we've been hearing about the power-up challenge that would change everything this week. Well, it turns out the winner of the challenge would have the option of either picking their next opponent, or choosing from an impressive display of robot weapons to add to their armament.
Always pick the weapon, never the opponent. If the last few weeks have taught us anything, it's that not him is to be underestimated.
Well, Team X certainly underestimated Team Scorpio. After winning the challenge, which is to assemble an uncompleted robot in the least amount of time, Andrew and Ross decided not to grab the giant drill, or the blender hands, or the serrated club, and instead chose to fight the one robot that had already literally cut another robot in half. It's almost like they wanted to lose.
Ta collecta will solidify in speculation, that the robot fights are scripted.
I don't think the fights are scripted, but I also don't think anyone will get anywhere in this tournament if they keep ignoring their own weaknesses. Axe had the same problem all the heavy robots have, which is staying vertical. You know what they say, the heavier the robot, the easier its spine will snap.
Ici, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
I've heard it both ways. In any case, I think it goes without saying that no one will ever underestimate Team Scorpio again, not now that they've eviscerated two whole robots.
Indeed.
Thank you for joining me again, Mr. Nemo.
Enchanted, Alves.
And thank you all for watching last night.